get to it. We got a lot to cover. We're going to hit all the release notes. This is one of the biggest releases in years. It is a foundational release, and I'm about to walk you all the way through a really big coverall release, all the way through the current version. Let's go through the install. Number one, uninstall before you install. You do need NinjaTrader. Currently, as of this date, the most stable version of NinjaTrader is 8.131. Let's assume that you've already installed NinjaTrader, and let's go through what you would need to do. Number one, so I'm going to go into my NinjaTrader 8 folder and uninstall AlgoBox install-AlgoBoxPro.exe in your NinjaTrader 8 folder, or if you go into control panel, let's assume that you've run the uninstall. Let's run our installer or download. There it is, and there's the prior. Great, get the latest there. And let's go ahead and we're going to run through the installer here together. You're going to download a zip file, and inside of the zip file, you're not going to do an import. This is just going to run the executable installer inside of it. And I'm going to double click on the executable inside of the zip file itself, and this should go full screen on your main monitor. So there it is. This is my main monitor. I'm on a 4K screen, so this might be really small here for you on the 4K, but I'll go ahead and hit next. Next, and now I'm going to select the bottom option. You don't have to have it, but you'll see tonight why you might want it if you want all of the filters. I saw one of our members earlier today just playing with it, enabling the supermoon and the moonshot filter with MACV ultimate direction, all the filters. If you want to do any of the filtering that we do in the room here where you're using the MACV, it's all built into that platinum menu. If you are on a 4K screen, it's going to be tiny up there in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Up there in the top left, that is going to be the 1080p workspace. 1080 is, this whole space is 1K. So if you're on a 4K monitor, each of the sections is 1K of space. So you'll have 1080p across each of those sections. And I'm going to open up the 20 chart layout here in just a moment. I'm going to pull over my control center here in the middle of my 4K screen. I know this might be small, but I will zoom in here. And what you'll see, this is the default installation. I've cleared all my other workspaces from before, and this is what you'll see. Okay, the very top one there is the default workspace. That is 1080p active trader fast load. Now that is something new with this latest version, and make sure if you've got other workspaces other than this, it will indicate to you that you have multiple versions of AlgoBox installed. You need to uninstall old version. These are the workspaces that you should have if you've got a clean install running. Now fast load obviously indicates it is fast loading. Let's go up here to the top left and enjoy some of that speed. So I'm going to move my control center out of the way here for a moment. If you have yours will probably be loaded up right down here. I kind of like this to show up so that I can kind of see the MACV Ultimate right back behind it. Leave a little space here for that right down there for my direction filter. When I'm doing just a single 1080p, let's say if I just had a laptop, this would be my ideal layout, is the 5 chart layout. Docs.algoboxpro.com, and I'm going to go to layouts, and we're going to look at our 5 chart layout here. So it's important to kind of know and understand how we are using the high time frames down to low, where we are going to take kind of 5 steps. I think this one's got a nice little GUI. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to start with the tide, the wave, the MACV filter, and then entering in on the ripple. We're going in the direction of the tide, where, you know, rising tide raises all boats. We might have a wave opportunity where we're coming down, crashing down onto a wave direction. Hey buddy, you need some help with your shirt? All right. What? Why does one of these say too slow? It's so good that you're learning to read. It literally means that it's the current market speed is too slow right now. It's after hours. Okay, put your arms in. Oh, boom. Okay, go for it. Yeah, so these are our layouts here, and this is the default workspace that I think that you should be using. If you are brand new with us, you're going to want to learn the system this way. And I always tell people all the time, if you are struggling for whatever reason, you find yourself in a hole, just jump back into using the 5 chart layout. I would encourage you, if you are struggling, get back to basics. Come over here, use the 5 chart layout, read from left to right, don't overthink things, get back to the basics. So this is the AlgoBox Trade Command Center Prop Firm Smart Risk Console. That is a mouthful, but this has been on our wish list item for a while. Hey, I want to disconnect automatically from everything if I've hit my targets or I hit my max loss All these are pretty self-explanatory. Everything in this panel, if you hover your mouse, this is one of the things that we've added a lot of features on our system, is adding all of the on hover text. So if you are going to hover over just about anything, so if I've got my mouse over this section right here, you'll see this little pop up here, max loss threshold in dollars, right? So it should tell you what they are. All of these items have a hover text. So current max ideal target. So this is currently estimating based on a parameter internally that will say over the last X number of minutes, what is the ideal max target I should be targeting? This is going to read from that chart to tell you how many ticks that we might want to be looking for the last X number of minutes that you might be looking for a runner. I personally don't want to hold a trade more than 4 minutes if I don't have to, so I have this defaulted to 4 minutes. So if you're going through my mentorship training, I have all these settings already there for you, just like we would be doing on my mentorship. Command Center Prop Smart, here we go, click on that, and now over here on the right, hover my mouse over this, it will tell you, there we go, minutes used. So right now, what this is telling me is with 21 ticks, this is saying, now this is the last time that this was connected, here is that for the last 4 minutes, I would be ideally only targeting 21 ticks in a 4 minute period, right? So 21 should really be the max that I should expect. I personally believe you should make a living on target 1, target 2. Everything else is bonus. Stop trying to like make a living on home runs. I'm going to cover the things that I think are important. High watermark, that just means how high we went up on that session. I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I do want to touch on this. Why do we have 2 options for auto liquidate versus auto kill all data connections? Okay, when is auto kill all data connections going to be useful? I put this in because for me personally, again, a lot of stuff that I create here, I mean, it's really for me. I go, hey, how would I be using this? Kill all connections is if you have been watching my live streams and you see me turn on full auto across 6 instruments. If I've got 6 instruments running at a time where I'm running across the nerd plus 2 instruments, NASDAQ, ES, RTY, Dow plus 2, CL and gold, then across all 6 of those, I may have 3 to 4 trades open at a time. Well, if I've got 3 or 4 open, how am I going to go over there and click close on every single one of them? Well, we have a nice little button for that, right? It's the flatten all button, right? I can reach up and hit the flatten all button at any time. Yes, in the mornings, like I like to let my full auto system run it up to about $1,000, and then if it does $1,000, awesome. It's kind of done its work for me. Of course, if it takes a drawdown, I also want to play against that drawdown. I start my discretionary trading along with my employees, my bots. I treat my bots like employees. I don't trust them. Okay. I'm going to be watching them. I'm not going to, put them in front of the cash register unattended. You know what I'm saying? I can reach over and hit the flatten all button, but I kind of want an auto flatten. So auto flatten, that's pretty easy. Okay. We understand that. It reaches the number. It's 1,000 take profit right there at $1,000. I can just put that in there. It'll close all. It's like hitting the flatten all button. So that's a benefit. Number one, if I use the auto liquidate, okay, cool. But what if I also want to kill all data connections? Why would I want to do that? Well, if I've got full auto turned on and this is on and this is on and this is on, okay, and I hit flatten all, that disables it on this one, but what about all the other instruments, right? If I have this on 6 instruments, that means I have to go click, 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 click. I have to unclick all 6 of those full auto ons. And by the time, and you've seen the markets before, right? When the market's moving really fast, really hot, especially in the mornings, Trump's going over there, saying something, or whoever knows, whatever the situation may be in the mornings, sometimes you don't have time to go click on all of those. But you know what's cool is, here we go. I put in the kill all data connections options for going, you know what? I just want to, yes, flatten all and then disconnect all of my connections so that even if these are turned on, it can't take any trades. Does everybody understand that? Like even right now, I'm disconnected, but you see how this is on? It's not gonna take any trades, right? Because I'm not connected. You get it? All right, so if you get it, let's type a 1 there in the chat here for me. We'll get some interactions here. I know it's late night, so we don't have a lot of people hanging out with us. They'll probably catch it tomorrow morning. And I just kind of threw this out here. I was gonna do a whole video, and then I realized when you guys see how much is in the release notes, you'll understand why I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to go through all of this. It's a lot. We have a lot to cover. So that is one of the main new feature enhancements with all kinds of fancy buttons, stuff like that. Is there anything else on here that needs to be explained? Unrealized? No, I think the rest is self-explanatory. The account, minutes. Yeah. And yes, you can control the minutes right here. I forgot. It's in the parameters, so you can save it all the time, or you can put it right here, and this will save in the next time that you come back and look at it. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. The arrows, auto flatten, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Next. There's a little status window right here. It will tell you whenever you hit, it'll change the message. It'll say congratulations, and it'll kind of give you some details in there. There's different messaging that goes in there into the message center, and we may use that message center for other things in the future, but for right now, yeah, it's a little message center from us as well. Okay, so let's talk about this text right here, because this may be one of the first things you may want to remove from your chart, but I just want people to know you're running the latest version if you have this here. Okay, it says you are using fast load light performance active trader mode. So I would be telling you that because obviously there's a pro and a con to all things. For me to make this absolutely super duper fast, that means I am pruning everything to the left hand side of the chart that I don't need. What does that mean? So if I am fast loading this chart, this is a low time frame, a lot of bars type of thing, you'll notice that it's like, what's going on over here? You might think, hey, my system is broken. There's nothing being printed over here. Now we kind of do that on purpose. I'm literally only loading X number of bars over here to the right. So there's a ton of bars here, believe it or not. There's hundreds of bars here, but this is controlled by default out of the box for you with a low amount of stuff. You notice there's not a whole lot of, like, there's nothing back here, right? I'm not loading anything over here to the left, because do we really need that? While I'm trading in real time, do I need all that information to the left? And really, it leaves it up to you. You can change this how you want, but out of the box default, I wanted this to be able to run on anybody's computer. Okay, this thing can run on a potato. Okay, we have tested this out. This runs on an i3 laptop now, super fast load, and still just functional for the trader if you're executing on our strategies. I wanted to put this up earlier when we started. These are cheat sheet entries. These are the types of entries that you're looking for, which is going to be a powerful structure plus an R2FA event on every trade. How we enter, and then of course we have a two-step filter where we're using the MACV Ultimate plus the local arrow for our direction bias filter, and then we execute on one of these. Now you don't have to know all of them, although I do encourage you to learn all of them. Let's get back up here to training top left. I want you to learn them all, but you can master 4 or 5 of them. I want you to be a absolute master of 4 or 5. We don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. We want to be master of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I think 4 or 5 personally is a good mix bag of what you should just be really good at. Be like, I'm going to take enigmas, super AOs, double cross double moves, and DCRs or super moons. Like, pick a combination of 4 or 5 that you like as you're going through the boot camp. Pick them out, and it doesn't really matter what you choose. I mean, it could. I mean, there's if you need some help, we can help, but I think you're going to know. Some things are going to just speak to you. You're just going to be like, yeah, that's really awesome. Some of them that I encourage you to maybe stay away from when you're brand new is maybe like a J hook, maybe more complex, a Titanic zone, maybe something that you might need a little more experience, a little bit bigger of a size account type of thing. But some of these are just, you know, gimmies, like Enigma. I mean, why wouldn't you? I love the Enigma. I would take the Enigma probably every single time. Okay, I digress. What do we need so is there an alternative to fast and light mode? Yes, there is. So let's go talk about some of those other workspaces. So let's go through the workspace list here real quick. So if we're on fast load, then you're probably going to take a good guess. You might think, oh, there's probably others. And you'd be right. So I can go over here to standard. I can also go to light mode, and let's go to light. So believe it or not, we can go even lighter than we currently have. And to do that, let's just do it like this. Workspaces, let's select standard light. Look at that, super fast load. Still have super fast load times there. And this is a 3 chart, what I call a flag layout. Looks like a lot of flags. Question I have is for current day OHL. How do we get that to set for the beginning of day? Okay, so if you are wanting that to look right, then you're going to need more days of data. So if you go into the data series, depending on what day it is, so that is a tricky one on the open, high, low, close. So one day is normally 24 hours. Okay, so remember, if it's going to have the open of that day, then it needs yesterday's information, right? If you're on a Monday, will that count? Think about it. So if you're coming in on a Monday, how many days of data do you need? Well, if there's no holidays involved, then in theory you have 3, right? Because I need Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, plus the current information, right? So to be able to get back far enough before I can get that actually open and close, I need 3 days of data, generally on a Monday. Every other day, I generally, unless there's a holiday, and I say generally because you have to account for holidays. There's things like that that you might need to take into account if there was a holiday or some other reason that, you know, there wasn't any market data. If you're doing market replay, for instance, market replay, if you're caring about what the open, high, low closer is there, and you're working off the lowest chart entry, then you may need more days of data. However, I also have that where you can load it on another chart, right? You could put the open, high, low, close on this higher chart, which always has more days of data than the lowest one. So while I think it's really nice to have it on the lower time frame, I could put it on this chart as well. So you can open, I think I have it here. Yeah, current, open, high, low, close on the Pro, and this chart up here by default has 3 days of data loaded. So almost always the top chart will be accurate. So if you ever see a scenario where the top chart is different than the lower chart, which one's going to be more accurate? The one on top, right? Because the bottom one is going to be basically be on how many bars or what data is loaded. This one has 1 day. On the other workspace, the super fast load 5 chart, I actually have this loaded to only 1,000 bars. We're looking at doing 1,000 bar look back, and you may or may not, depending on what time of day it is, actually have the prior day's information on 1,000 bars. On NASDAQ, probably not, because NASDAQ moves a lot of bars at a time. However, 1,000 bars might be plenty for things like the ES. The ES, 1,000 bars back, might even include, you know, it might be 4 or 5 days of data on the lower time frame. Does that make sense? So complex question, good question. Does that answer your question, shit-ons? Cool. Good question. Okay, so that's that workspace. Let's go to a brand new workspace that you may have not seen. But oh no, let's talk about this. So because of the fast load, there are options in every major indicator. I say every major because there might be a few that didn't need it or don't, but across the entire suite of algorithms, every one of these should have a backtest mode. What do you think backtest mode might be? If I go in here to, let's go to something simpler here, and that one's pretty complex as well. Fabella dots is a complex. Let's go to harmonics. Harmonics might be a good one to look at. Oh, we won't be able to draw it. Let's do the flagging. Yeah. Delta Flagging Pro. Okay, because this one we can actually demonstrate in real time here. So I'm going to click on backtest mode right here. So almost all of these indicators now have backtest mode. So if I select that option there for backtest mode, it's going to backpopulate everything to the left. Now remember, we saw a minute ago, you see this space right here. I think it's behind somebody's text there, but right there, see how there's nothing over there to the left? If I select backtest mode on this, it's going to backfill all the data in that space. See, so there we go, and it'll go back for forever. It's not even X number of bars. It's going to, if I hit page up, it'll basically print forever, right? The full chart, it basically backtest everything. Okay, backtest mode is going to show absolutely everything all the way back to the beginning of time on that chart. Okay, so however many bars is there, that is available for you if you want to, you know, for whatever reason. Obviously for a backtest, right? A backtest where you want to go and run a backtest, or you're testing over the weekends, or you want to go look back at some old stuff. You can put any indicator on any chart and go backtest mode. By default, it's not on, but you can select that. Does that make sense? Any questions around backtest mode? And backtest mode is now a feature in just about every single indicator. So I'm going to unselect that, but alpha omega, you'll see right there, backtest mode. So right now, alpha omegas, it will, oh, there's numbers. Here we go. So how many are we going back? See that number of horizontals right there? I'm only drawing the last 4. You can draw as many as you want. Max bars look back. Right now, I'm only looking 244 bars back. Okay. Batch cleanup. Every 85 bars, my system will look and go, is this the 85th bar in the series? It is. Kill. Number 85. Let's do a cleanup. So we're not cleaning up after every bar either. I'm cleaning up after X number of batches. You can decrease this. You can increase this. I've got this set so your computer is going to just breeze through our system. Okay. One of our, biggest complaints about our system was that it's too heavy for people's computers, right? So what I did was let's solve that for you and go, now it can run on everybody's computer. Make sense? Hopefully you guys like that. Can I get an amen? Gotta get an amen in the house. All right. Number of horizontals, cleanup patch, max bars back, backtest mode. Okay, all those kind of work together. Is there another one associated? No, that's it. So that feature, I mean, technically that's, I call it pruning. I don't know if there's a better name for it, but I call it pruning. So I'm going to prune everything to the left after X number of bars. Actually, while I'm in here, I want to turn off the backtest on flagging pro. Did I already turn it off? Nope, I left it on. All right, turn it off. There we go. I was gonna say, I was like, how come it's back populating? There we go. And see how fast the chart loads. So anyway, basically no problems. It also hangs that, it comes to our next thing. We have drastically decreased hangups. Like I have not yet, I'm gonna knock on wood here, not had a hang up yet since we've gone up to the latest patch in any of our live streams. I can switch between instruments. That's another thing. We have handled every single transition event inside of NinjaTrader for all of our indicators in our entire series and suite, and our strategies and our panels, all been handled big time. So you'll notice you can switch between AlgoBox 4s. You can go all the way down to the 1s. I have a video where I put this on high speed max, where it's just like just printing bars super fast in market replay mode. It just cooks. Now, mind you, I'm on a 285K, so highest end Intel machine, but yeah, it's gonna cook. Can I use my grandmother's laptop? Yes. In fact, I targeted exactly the people who got, grandma handed you her old laptop. It's gonna work. We can't wait to trade Command Center works, to be honest. A lot of people really liking that. We've seen a lot of people just like, I mean, it was weird. I won't say it's weird, I guess. I was excited to see how many people just gravitated towards that feature, almost like a duck to water, just like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Boom, used it. And they're like, yep, hit my target and done for the day. Really awesome to see you guys using the tool there and, really enjoying that. I'm going to enjoy it because I'm always like, sometimes I'll be sitting there, I'll be missing my discretionary trade because I'm like, okay, it's almost at 1,000. I got my finger hovering over that flatten all button. I'm like, I got to be there right when it hits that. I got to get right over 1,000. I want to hit it and close it. Now the system's just going to be like, I got this. Instantly, it's going to see it. It's going to hit it. It's going to press the button. It's going to flatten all. It's a dream. So I'm excited to see that. You guys will be seeing me use that in the live streams when I get my full auto stuff set up for all 6 instruments again as well. Command Center works great. I set it to 500. Just spam click 2 sim accounts to see if it would do it. Cancels trades immediately. Awesome. Yes, I also set that so if you try to open up another trade, you can. It does not stop you from taking a trade, but it will close out the trade. So you try to open one, and it also gives you a message right here. It says your threshold's already reached. Yeah, so it'll be like, nope, can't do it. You'll have to either up the number for that session. So if you're at 500, then you'd have to up it to like, okay, well, let me go to 750. Like, don't lock me out until, or if you want to make another $100, set it to 600, and then it'll let you play again. Makes sense. Cool. Or you can turn off the auto flatten. I mean, you can just turn it off, right? So you can bypass it by turning it off as well. But yes, I put all kinds of things in there to stop you from doing stuff. Because that's what I wanted to do for me. I mean, I wanted it for myself. Okay, so, and remember that only applies per account. So if you're going to run this across multiple accounts, now it can auto liquidate all accounts. However, it is reading from the account that you select here at the top. If it's talking about the take profit number, that is on that account. Okay, so across multiple accounts, like basically if any one of your accounts reaches 1,000, it will close out all. That's how this is designed. If there's future enhancements that we want to do, if you guys have ideas for the wish list, put it in the wish list, and we can always enhance. But right now, it's got everything that you need, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's go through some more stuff here. I think we're about to hit into the list. Yeah, we talked about backtest mode. Oh, let's go to one of the new workspaces that you've never seen before. This was designed to make this easier for people who've never been introduced to full auto in a button panel system. We have implemented our strategies in a way that is compatible with a lot of trader funding programs, because a lot of trader funding programs will base their unattended full auto versus attended button pressing, what I call full auto, on button press and attended. Let's see if I can find my control center again. Where'd my control center go? There it is. Okay, let's go to another workspace here. In the list here, standard, y'all probably already know that one's got more days of data on it. Also has, on fast load, it basically doesn't have, it's not as stringent on standard. Let's open up the Nerd Bot. So this is a new one right here. We have not had this on any release, that Nerd Bot. Let's open it up and let's talk about it. If you're wanting to dip your toes in some full auto, now it's not to supplant the simple lunch bot, which I have said before, you know, lunch bot is the simplest bot. It's still probably true, but maybe not. Depends. I mean, I don't know, like, I kind of like the freedom of being able to press the buttons personally. Okay, so this is a 4-chart workspace. 4 charts. It's got the nerd, hence the nerd bot. N-E-R-D, if you are new with us. NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow. The Dow is a Y. Don't even get me started. So it's kind of nerdy. All right, nerdy. Meh. Anyway, Dow is YM. Let me get started. Go look at the history of it. Okay, so NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow all around this space here. I've got this set to where, like, I mean, you can kind of just read it. Platinum Dream Panel has Super AO and Enigma. Now, this is talking about the Platinum Dream Panel. This is not on this chart. Again, I'm expecting that this to go away. You're not going to be able to have Platinum in the next release anyway. So right now, what I've got loaded is the standard bot here. This does not have all the filtering. We'll talk about that at the very end of the video here, to get into Platinum, where it's got more buttons. It's basically the same style of panel, but more buttons. I would say way more. Yeah, I'd say way more. Probably more than double the amount of buttons that are here for filtering. Everything from the MACV Ultimate Nerd direction, the no fiddle zone, don't take trades in the fiddle zone area, take them in the direction of the MACV Ultimate. You can filter on crosses nearby, aka supermoon or moonshots for the Enigmas, and Super AO. This is only Enigma. The Dream Panel will also enter in on Super AOs. And if you don't know what those are, you'll get to our training program and you'll love it. Supporting to watch training videos, talk about that, entertaining purposes only. Note, Enigma bot, indicator, time filter, example 9 to 11. Okay, so some people don't know that you can turn on a time filter. Let's just go into that here real quick. Let's talk about the time filter. Enigma bot panel. So if you've heard me say, hey, you know, system really works well between this time and this time, or if you've done your own little back testing and you're like, hey, I want to set this to start and stop at a certain time, you can do it right here. Okay, pretty simple. In the parameters, you can change that. All the settings that you can change back here are available on the other side. The Enigma bot panels and things also do have a backtest mode. So if you want to do a backtest, if you're like, hey, how come there's no Enigmas over there to the left? Same thing. Remember, I've got this set to, you know, only X number of bars back to the left. And you can see, I think these are set to 500. So you'll see Enigmas to the left by 500 bars. But this is designed to where you can just come on here and just turn them all on. Arm long, arm short, full auto, arm long, arm short, full auto, arm long, arm short, full auto, arm long, arm short, full auto. And yeah, these are already set to ATM strategy. Basically, you get this, we kind of turn it on and let it run and see how it goes, right? This is a version of side to side. If you've heard me go side to side, enter in on a green, exit on a red, but also allows multiple entry with, so if 2 Enigmas show up, it will enter in on both of them. When it gets to the other side, it will start to exit those positions as well. And again, really, I think it coincides really well with letting all 4 of them run, but setting a target. So for me, I would set this to take profit of 1,000, you know, whatever your comfort level is with your max loss that you would be able to take. And then it will automatically, if you turn it on, now remember, you have to turn this on. I guess I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm assuming, you know, you're going to have to turn these features on, like just putting that number. Those are buttons, right? You know, that's on, that's off, that's on, that's on. So if I wanted all of them all on, this is what that would look like. Okay, auto liquidate all, flatten all, and kill all connections. That red one is important. Okay. So yeah, let it run, or you know, put it in sim, let it run, practice, and see if it's something that you really like. If you really like full auto stuff, you'll want to play with this. And again, there's a lot of ways to use our system. We are not a financial advisor. It cannot tell you specifically what to do. I only just show you guys what I do, and then you can make decisions on how you want to execute with your stuff. Does that make sense? I give some pretty good out of the box defaults in my opinion, but opinions are up for grabs as always. Yes. If you have questions, of course, pop them there in the chat. Do some practice with the command center. Awesome. Love to hear it. Kit there. Just gonna try auto liquidate, auto kill data connection, shut down my PC. Shut down my PC. It doesn't go turn off computer, but set mine to trade copier leader account. There you go. I think that's smart, Brian, to do it that way. Yeah, close out the leader account, which will close out all the others. Yeah, good way to do it. And you kind of got that double check for the auto liquidate as well. Okay, so that's the nerd workspace, and let's do a quick demonstration on how fast all this stuff can load up here. I'm gonna go to positions window here, and let's zoom back here. Trading full 4K. Let's go ahead and connect our data feeds here, and let's see how we go here. I got a bunch of workspaces open though. I should close some of those here. So let's close standard light. Yes, workspace. I want to close the other one. Yes. Generally, you don't want to have multiple workspaces. Listen, the system works really, really well, but I would not. Don't test it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't push it too far. But let's launch open. Let's do the 20 chart workspace to see. This is a game changer. If you have seen us launch the 20 chart workspace before, okay, I'm going to click it in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Let's see how fast our 20 chart layout is capable of loading here this evening. It's going to be 5 charts times 4 instruments with all the algorithms that we have installed across those charts. That's a lot. Still loading, and is it done? I think it's done. I mean, seconds. That's pretty awesome. Maybe you're not as big a nerd as I am, but that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know. I geek out on that. I think that's awesome. Like, that load time for that many charts with as many algorithms as we have going, dude, it's pretty freaking awesome. Okay. Before all my trolls were like, it's my eyes. Yeah, I know. We've heard your trolling. It's the same thing you say every time. You have more buttons on your dashboard in your car, and I don't get in your car and go, hurts my eyes. We also have the 4K 12 light. Let's load that one up here. This one's 12 charts. So you got flag layout times 4 instruments. I really like this layout personally. Along with the nerd, if I got the nerd off on a phone or a tablet nearby or on another screen, and then I've got these, that's pretty much all you need. I can see ES. I like to use ES as my guidepost. And then, so if I'm trading the NASDAQ down here, but like knowing when ES is firing off, like it's a very common thing to see if you get an AO cross, particularly on the ES, and it starts to turn, oftentimes a NASDAQ or a Dow or a Russell will also be turning at the same point if you're already looking for a pivot at that location. CES, put in an AO cross, and might be turning like a boss. Okay. All right, let's go to our standard workspace. Let's close out this fun one. Yes. Workspace, go back to fast load, and we'll go up top. Just the load times on these are so fun, and no lockups with connection, everything. It's really awesome. Switching between instruments, bar sizes. So Here we go. Flip to ones. Look, just look how fast that is. It's so awesome. Go back to fives. Switching between bar sizes super fast in this latest version. That is a huge change, and that was our primary focus in this release, was all about that performance. And I really wanted to get rid of the flashing bug from NinjaTrader that they've had since 8.117, and that is done. It's beautiful. Okay, now let's talk about features and enhancements. We're gonna have to come down here to our list. We have a lot of items that we want to go through here. Let me get our text screen a little bit smaller over here to the left. Okay. What changed for traders? This is the largest single update since the 11 branch began. If you trade with multi-indicator chart templates, use market replay, or rely on audio alerts, this release should feel significantly more stable and responsive. What you will notice, plot flashing is gone. Indicators that previously flickered. Ultimate OBS, whole list there. Things now render smoothly. F5 refresh no longer risks crashing NinjaTrader. Heap corruption, and resource race scenarios have been systematically eliminated. Charts with heavy indicator stacks should remain more responsive, especially during Workspace reload, data reloads. Audio alerts work reliably through market replay and live sessions. So in the audio alerts section, you'll notice that there will be better crossover. So if you hear multiple alerts at the same time, you can just tell they're being fired in a different way, asynchronously. That just sounds better. They're also sped up by default. If you don't like them in the faster mode, you can. On every indicator, it has the option to slow them down, but I currently have them set to the fastest audio queuing. You know that it is a nice female voice that's literally saying a phrase to you. That phrase is now said faster and more asynchronously for this update. Divergence triangles, people asked, can we make them different sizes? That's been done. Enigma panels, remember their hide show state. That was one that was requested. That was done as well. So show hide, meaning if you hide this, click on the little hide where it shrinks up like this, it will stay that way even into the next. So it basically remembers that location, location information, and its current state when you closed will now return to that state, that as well. All settings across the board, cleaner and lighter out of the box. Some people had been using light mode in NinjaTrader that caused some issues. We overrode that with our current dark colorings. Just download the new AB, or where you go to turn on the command center. So it's out of the box. It's on, but it is an indicator. So it's going to be, did you see it in your 5-chart layout? So if you have a data, you might need to connect your data first if you're not seeing it. But once you are connected, it's on there by default. But this is done as an indicator. So the code is located in an indicator. So if you right click on any chart and go in indicators, if you wanted to add it, you don't have to have just one command center. You can have multiples, but hey, start being you got to be careful when you start doing too many things. Remember where they're located. Okay, so the indicator itself is AlgoBox _ command center prop smart. Got it? Command center prop smart for the indicator. Add it to the chart, and then the settings. You can also, again, if you just like the parameters thing, you can do it in here as well. You can set those profit targets here or through the interface. The increment step can only be changed right here. So that, I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. These are little minor things. Increment step currently increments in sets of $25. So if I hit this little, this happens to be the little arrow buttons here. So it's at 1,000. If I hit the up arrow, it's going to be 25, right? So in sets of 25, if I, by default, if you want to change that, you can do it inside. So see, if I click it twice, it's 50. If I hit it a third time, it's 1,075. If I hold the button, you know, it goes up really fast, but it goes in increments of 25. If you want to set it to 100, if you want increments of 100, you know, you can do that how you want. Make sense? So that is an increment value there in the indicators while I'm there going through all the parameter settings. And don't worry, this will be in the documentation. We are working on this in Gitbook for the new stuff. Not all of this is in Gitbook yet for documentation for the absolute brand new features, but they are being worked on right now as we speak. Got some nice graphics coming on those. Take profit, look bars back. 100 bars, auto flatten enabled. Yeah, so basically all the settings that are There's that voice rate we were just talking about here. So voice rate, algo voice, it will give you an alert there, or you can turn it off completely, but you'll notice the voice rate is set to fastest. If you want to slow it down, you can come in here, slower, normal, etc. Okie dokie. Good question. Let's see. I need a nice 55-inch monitor and do that 20 chart 4K mode. Sweet. Yeah, I still be careful of those 55s. I think it's I tried to use one for the longest time. I think it was beautiful, but I did find myself craning my neck to the top corners. I didn't like it. Pulled it down to 43 inch. I still think 43 is the absolute ideal. That's me personally. If you like the 55, cool. But I've heard a lot of people were just their neck thanked them afterwards. Their eyeballs too, a little less brightness with a 43 versus a 55. There we go. Okay, key trader facing fixes. No more plotting, flashing. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I can't even tell you. I love it. New custom rendering engine replaces NinjaTrader's default. So that's how we fixed it. We have our own rendering engine now for drawings in SharpDX. Ultimate Obos. Now use that new engine. Yeah, those are all the ones that were flashing. Anti-aliased line drawings. Yeah, so basically smoother line drawings using anti-aliasing methods. So it's just enhancements on beauty. F5 chart refresh stability. Button panel no longer crashes during the F5. Logo indicators no longer crash. SharpDX base indicators are hardened. Timer base indicators. Full stability cleanup audit. It's 8:55. Oh no, 5 minutes of your bedtime. Okay, well, you better go get it. Let me finish up my video. I'm gonna try to go fast. Every indicator was audited, proper exception handling, calculation loops, boring stuff, internal stuff. Just basically means it's better for you. Better performance on active charts. Let's see, anything important in here? Channel regulator, new engine, a lot of this has to do with what we already kind of talked about in the fast mode options. Audio replay and improvements. I kind of already talked about that. Asynchronous firing for, it's really helpful in market replay when you're running things and high speed, especially in those audio cues. Guarding between transitions. Yeah, we did a lot of that. So a lot of this was handling of stuff that you'll never even realize that there was any kind of thing that needed to be fixed on those. A lot of the stuff for every transition inside of NinjaTrader is handled, so no crashing, super fast, basically is what that translates to. New pro indicators. Okay, so there are some names and some naming conventions. These are good. Why don't you just take a screenshot of these? These are ones that you really should be applying templates. Let's talk about those real quick here. I'll go up to the top left and let's talk about loading a template. So if I'm on a chart, brand new chart, let's say you want to build your own templates, go to load. Yeah, I've got a bunch of others. Okay, ours are going to be named with this kind of numbering system like this. As you're going through our training, these things will mean something to you. We are following along in Alexander Elder's principle of tide wave ripple, high time frame, mid time frame, low time frame type of scenario, and we are running across 5 only because we've got a big small entry on the ripple as well. And we have a really cool Mac V center filter that's just taking things to the next level. So tide is the biggest, and then we kind of see how these are labeled 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's multiple 4s there with A, Enigma, and small Enigma bot across here. Each of these kind of has a certain layout and look, but you can grab those and take a peek for yourself. We got a trade copier that only has just the trade copier on it if you want that separate. But the templates themselves can be loaded there's basically mainly 5, right? We've got 5 charts, primary layouts, but there's some exceptions if you got the nerd or a bot, things like that. But you can also create your own templates if you want to play in your settings and apply templates. But if you use our templates, the ones that are, the ones come out of the box, we have vetted those settings. So you might want to use ours. If you're struggling with yours, use ours. But if you're choosing between names, Pro and Pro 2 are things that you'll want to be looking for new indicator updates, like super enhancements. The old one is still there. So for instance, if you want the old flashing back, okay, the way that NinjaTrader was doing their plotting, using NinjaTrader standard plotting with all the flashing nonsense, for instance, on the flagging. So there is a the old Flagging Pro, but now there's a Flagging Pro 2 that has the enhancements, stuff like that. Okay. Bug fixes, that's where we talked about there, that Delta Flagging Pro and Pro 2. Harmonics just work better. Dark mode enhancements, we talked about that. There's the whole list overall. Let's see, let's go to the next one. We'll change for traders. If you use a command center and control panel heavily, this update is for you. 11.5 focuses on easier risk control, clear panel, feedback, order routing, safety, quieter default audio behavior. What you notice, better on panel stuff, better instrument routing on Enigma Platinum. We'll come back and talk about Platinum here for sure. Trader facing stuff, command center. On hover help. Yeah, we've got on hover help for just about everything now. Added parameter descriptions directly into the workflow areas. Yes, so if you go into any parameter on any indicator, that was another full suite audit of anything that did not have a description. Went through and we've added descriptions for every single parameter of every indicator in every strategy, and every button has an on hover text. Rework the panel naming, visual clarity, faster reading. Yeah, strong risk control behavior. TP lock now rearms correctly if you lower the threshold below current FP now. Yes, basically a bunch of changes after we released the command center. You know, we found a few things, auto kill connections, all that kind of stuff. So we enhanced it in this version. Order safety. Let's see, main indicators. Algo voice off. Auto spam behavior. Okay, fixed a lot of it. Basically just stuff, little minor stuff there. Patch for 5.7. We're getting there. Command center control expansions. We really hit that control center a lot here, so I won't go through all these details. Basically, command center is pretty awesome. If you want to go through the detailed notes here, this is in the release notes section under technical support over here. If you want to go through all these individually. Risk and safety behaviors, trade blocking. Let's look for anything exciting that you guys care about. Enigma Platinum, order routing. I don't care about that. No fiddle zone gating fix. Okay, so some people had said, I believe Don James, is James here? Mr. James? He had done a lot of extensive work around. He's like, I think the fiddle zone sometimes it's taking trades like just inside the fiddle zone. Yeah, and we did see that. So I fixed that gating where that should be an official filter and gated properly. There were scenarios where it was taking a few trades inside the fiddle zone. So that was fixed as well. Noise reduction, we already talked about that. Documentation stuff. Commit list. Okay. The new nerd layout, we talked about that. You guys have already seen this, right? New nerd layout. If you are just playing around or just like out of the box, good place to start for playing with full auto. That nerd workspace is there for you to play with. Let's see, AlgoBox patch release notes for this one, Delta Flagging Pro 2. We really went through that extensively. Backtest options and cleanup and pruning. Enigma Platinum instrument routing stabilization, restored stable instrument routing. Yeah, so there were scenarios where ES particularly, or if someone was running a micro and multiple data series on a chart, that's been handled now. Routing is going to go to the main data series. So the first data series that you add to a chart will be executed on the main. That is fixed in Platinum as well. No commits. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so let's hit Platinum. We talked about Platinum. Last call for Platinum. Let's see, what's all the hype about Platinum? So what you see here, what is the difference between Enigma regular and Enigma Platinum? So let's get all the way in here. Let's zoom all the way in, and let's I'm going to shrink up our text here. I'm going to put you guys text over my head, I think, here for a moment. So this is the Enigma bot panel. So let's look at the Platinum version of that. We go into indicators. And so if you want to enable the Platinum, so we'll go in here and I'm going to remove the Enigma Bot Panel Pro. And then I'm going to go into my list here, and we want the Enigma Platinum right here. I'm going to just double click it. Adjust any labels here. This does have the same thing. We have the times of day. There are some threshold settings in here. So if you are wondering, well, what is the AO threshold setting? This is important. Take a note right here. Everybody who's using Platinum, everybody type the word threshold. If you're hanging out here with us, please type threshold. Adjust the threshold. This is AO tuning. Okay, same phrase that we use is if you want to tune your AOs, this is going to be the threshold value for the tuning of the AO. So it's not going to count the alpha omega cross. That's what AO stands for, alpha omega. AO, that AO order flow event will not fire in this case unless it is a 6 or greater. But if you have on your chart 4s and you're like, Vinny, it didn't take the trade, it's a 4, you're going to have to put this in here. It's not going to match up your indicator, right? So if you have the indicator on your chart set to 4, but the threshold value here is 6, you understand, like you're going to see a 4, but it's not going to fire because we're looking for a 6. That's what this is. That threshold value is probably one of the few things that's kind of hidden, I think. It's not like very obvious because it's not in the GUI. It's in the parameter only, okay? The Enigma targeting here as well. This is one that is not set for you, but if you want to visually change this, like for me right now, I'm trading a higher time frame, so I usually set this to about 35 ticks, and this is just a visual representation of the targeting. I'll show you what that means here in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and set that to 35 because I'm trading off of the 4s or 5s generally right now on the NASDAQ in these wild markets. Otherwise, normally I'm gonna target 20 bag. I'll grab a 20 tick target on a regular basis on the lower time frames when we kind of get back to normal volatility, right? But right now we've got Trump volatility, all right? Let's just be honest. We're all excited about getting some super high volatility because the numbers are stupid what we're hitting now. Low strength thresholds. Let's see. Oh yeah, those need to be the same. So if you are, yeah, it's like, I know there's something else. Okay, so these two values, they can be different. If you want the super AO to fire off differently than a super AO threshold value itself, low threshold versus the super AO threshold, basically you want these to be the same. Does that make sense? For that whole section. You'll see this in a minute when we go to the buttons, okay? Invert logic, we don't really care about that right now. That's only if you want to go to the flat. Okay, here we go. Our AlgoBar sizes, this is actually in the GUI, so this one's less important here, but this is for the fiddle zone. So for your fiddle zone in general for the NASDAQ, I usually use the 9s versus when I'm using the ES, for instance, on the S&P 500, you might want to adjust this. The S&P, I use the 6 for the fiddle zone filtering. And again, this is, we teach all this in the training, but basically you can adjust it to what you want, but there's a drop down for this. I don't let you go less than 6 because I really don't think you should be filtering less than that. Don't think you should be on beyond higher than 10. If you're going outside of that, there's really no point. So we currently have this set to what I do is with mentorship. If you guys want something more, you know, put it in the wish list item. If you're just like, hey, just let us put our own number. Okay, put it in the wish list area and we'll consider it. I have heard that you guys might want a larger value set for that, and that's fine. I'm up for it. We can do it in the next release if you want. Enigma power filters. Okay, all these are in the GUI. All right, so let's just go ahead and click OK, and yeah, there we go. So now we're going to see a lot more buttons here on the left. We are currently after hours, so we're going to see a lot more, but not really. Some of this is because, look right down here, I can tell we don't have enough days of data, or we don't have enough data to fill in here. Okay, so I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to go into data series here. This doesn't really work really well on bar count, so this is at 2500. Let's set this to days, and we're going to go ahead and set to are we at the end of the week? Yeah, 1 day of data is fine. This will be basically today and yesterday, so it'll be 24-hour period. And there we go. That cleans it up. Now, remember, that's not going to change this because what is this set to? Let's go ahead. While we're here, though, let's show what this is. That's Delta Flagging Pro is the name of the indicator down here, right? So if I want to have this populate farther to the left, I need to add more rows to the left, right? Or more bars. So go to indicators, and if I go to Delta Flagging Pro 2, let's go check that setting. Yeah, right now, see it's 244 bars. So if I wanted more bars to the left, and the histogram, so we care about the histogram numbers. Let's say 1500, and let's say I want to put this one to 1500. There we go. So now we're going to fill in 1500 of those to the left, and again, bigger the number, more processing, blah blah blah. So okay, so we got some enigmas here, and let's go through the panel. So this panel is basically going away if you don't have it before the end of the month here. You know, you're probably not gonna have it, so this may not apply to you. So this is for the people who have platinum, and you've got this is not just Enigma. Remember, the big thing about platinum is this will execute on a super AO or an Enigma event. Make sense? Now, a super AO is a combination itself, right? The incident itself, the event itself is a multi-confluence entry, which is why it's so powerful, which is why a lot of people like it. But with it, you have additional filters. So we have this multi-confluence event, and the filters still apply. Now, some of these filters down below only apply to the Enigma. Which ones might those be? Now, again, I don't want to make this a full teaching training session, but I'm going to go through a few of these things. So Moonshot and Super Moon, do those have anything to do with Super AO? No, right? So these are only applicable to Enigma. So this does take some training, and this is why, again, I really just want to pull this out of the hands of novices. This is not me trying to, you know, punish the public, but it is that, honestly, we kind of just get tired of answering the same questions. You guys won't like the people who come and kick the tires, you know, we get a lot of people because I allow you to just have a 2-week free trial with us. I do believe that the system is so good that you will like it and you'll want to use it, and so we give it to you 2-week free trial. But that also gets abused a lot. We get people, you know, using it on multiple machines. Like, you know, I'm going to install it on my wife's laptop and my laptop, and then I'm going to spin up a virtual machine at my office, and then I get, and these, you know, there's people abusing the 2-week free trial, just using it over and over again. So we are going to be putting something that will stop that. We will get a financial transaction on these and not auto default to allow somebody to have a 2-week free trial with this. It's just something we're gonna have to do. But it also is like, you won't go through the training. It takes a little bit of, like, it's not fully intuitive if you don't know what a moonshot is. Like, a moonshot may not mean anything to you if you haven't been to training, or a super moon. Like, what is that? If you know, you know, right? You know that these are applicable to Enigma, but I get a question all the time. So why is the moonshot not applying when I have a super AO turned on? Because it's nothing to do with it. If you went to the training, you would know. Anyway. Okay, and again, all these have an on-hover event, so notice as I hover over each button, you are welcome. We came up with stuff to say here for every event, and yeah. Neutral fiddle zones, all that kind of fun stuff. So yes, basically ultra filtering, fiddle zone filter. I really like this. Don James, I saw him in the chat. Was he here? I think I saw him. Don James, what's up, buddy? Thanks again for all the contributions, for helping me go, hey, I don't think this one's working. Thank you for pointing this out. Check it out now, though, bro. I would love to see your feedback on it. If we go in here to indicators and let's add the fiddle zone filter. I used this extensively in Market Replay, and it was just awesome to watch. If I add the fiddle zone filter and then just put it on high speed, it was awesome watching it just only take trades inside and outside of the gray, or I'm sorry, outside of the gray. It was really awesome. If I can spell fiddle zone, oh, it's in the lowers for it. And oh, they're at the top. Oh, it's no fiddle zone. Starts with an N. Duh. No fiddle zone. There it is. I was looking in the F's. All right, it's a no fiddle zone filter. Double delta NQ on the 5. Percentage by default should be fine. All the defaults. No, I don't want those. Hold on one second. Just kidding. I don't want all the defaults. The 0 zone. I do not want the 0 zone. I do want to show the fiddle zone. There we go. Okay. So, well, look at that. Perfect little sliver in there. This Enigma would have fired, right? That one, it would have fired. It's right in between The fiddle zone, these two would not have fired, right? Because they are inside the fiddle zone. Very cool stuff. Head panel running all the time and it's working fine. Beautimous, beautimous. All right, so fiddle zone filter is match, bar for bar. Thank you for pointing out that there were some scenarios where that was not hitting, and yeah, I did find those, so thank you for that. Awesome QA on that. And let's see. Any other questions around this? Anything anybody wants to see here real quick? What's our time? Did we do it in an hour? Oh, just over an hour. Hour and 11 minutes. What's up, Carbone? Great to see you. Also glad you're explaining this to everyone tonight. Okay, can't wait to see. Okay, so again, special reiteration note, if you're going to use the latest version of NinjaTrader, you can load a blank workspace. So what do I mean with that? I'm gonna show that last thing here. I'm gonna pass it on to anybody who is going, hey, how do I do it? Instead of launching with this workspace and open, create an untitled workspace or name it blank, something like that. Okay, launch that, load up before you connect. Okay, so just have your connections disconnected first, and before you connect with the blank workspace. Okay, with basically nothing open. Do a blank workspace, nothing connected. All right, and then open up your workspace. Everybody got it? That's what you do. That's the magic. It's NinjaTrader. Again, it's not us, bro. Like, it just works in 8131. I have noticed if you switch contracts on 8161, even without our system, they're having issues. I hope people have reported that even more to them to kind of get their attention on some of that. At the same time, I know they're a big company and they're putting out a lot of features and a lot of stuff right now. But anyhow, that's what we got. I'll be back here with you guys tomorrow morning, Friday, early in, early out. Come hop on with us. The Apex offer, I think it expired, that 90% thing expired last night, but use our code. It helps us to be able to do giveaways here and helps out our tech support. And now we also have Tradeify. Go check out Tradeify. Tradeify does daily payouts, and I have talked with their CEO. I like what they're doing over there. Good people over there, knowledgeable, informative, and they're all about, they have no problem running AlgoBox with us as well. So use code AlgoBox at Tradeify. They are doing daily payouts as well. So also you got 7 days to get the Platinum Edition up there on that monthly plan, lease to own. It's not even just monthly where you pay out forever. We have a lease to own, so you'll literally own it after 18 months on the current plan. That is a super sweet offer and expires in 7 days. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. See you in a live stream. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Guys got questions, pop them there in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them, and hopefully we covered everything, but you never know. I might have missed something. If we need to make a follow-up to this, I will do that sometime this weekend or maybe next week. Thanks again. See you guys.